Over the years, I came to a realization that whatever it is that I planned, whether it is to eat healthy or go to the gym, or perhaps learn how to play the guitar, I came to a realization that whenever I started trying them, I always stopped learning a month and a half into it. It was always the 6 weeks threshold. I have no idea why, but that was always the threshold for me to stop moving on with whatever I was trying to learn. And I kept asking myself, why is that? And over the years, especially at the years of university, I came to a realization that it's because I was literally diving headfirst. I wasn't preparing myself, and more importantly, I was trying to change myself and become someone that I'm not. Here, I want to discuss with you the concept of the comfort zone, and how that concept is flawed, and what the real, actual concept should be. Let's discuss. This is the Inspire Podcast, the place for all the change makers in this world. Keep an eye out to hear all the stories, the experiences, and the life lessons that could impact your life forever. You'll be hearing from me and from young entrepreneurs as well as leaders about what inspired them to inspire others and how they defy the status quo in their own style. Hussein speaking here, and I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. I promise it'll be worth the while. But without further ado, it's another day, another topic, another lesson. Let's begin. The internet talks about the comfort zone as this thing being inferior to you. This thing that's related to risk-taking, that's related to doing something dangerous or doing something extremely novel to your life. And it's always something that's beyond who you are. And it's always something that's way far away from you. And if you were to dig deeper into the internet, you'd realize that there's one very famous picture that involves two different circles. And in these two different circles, one of them says the comfort zone. And it's essentially you in the center of that circle with a ring around it. And another circle, kind of like a segregated circle, that says that's where the magic happens. And that's where, if you were to step to that circle, that's where success is, as per the internet's definition. And this is where I want to disagree. When we live in a world of social media or perhaps comparison with others, we happen to want to do new things not because we want to actually do new things. It's because we want to live what the internet shows us that we have to live. It's because we're trying to follow the trends. So whenever we try to eat healthy, think about it thoroughly. Why are you trying to eat healthy? Is it really because you want to live a healthy lifestyle, or is it because you want to portray to people that you're living a healthy lifestyle? Now, whatever the reason is that you're doing it, it doesn't change the fact that what we're doing is that we're sleeping one day, holding a burger in our hands, and then waking up the next morning and deciding to bite off a cabbage. And then we maintain doing that, or we keep doing that for a day or two, and then third day we start questioning ourselves. Who even am I? Why am I even trying to do this? What's my objective? Why am I jumping head first? And that's the question that I want you to ask yourself. Why are you jumping head first? Now, whatever the reason is that you're doing it, it doesn't change the fact that we're trying to change. We're trying to change who we are because we want to reach that magic. We're trying to actually change our core. We're trying to change who we truly are, what defines us. I'm not saying that what defines you is eating a lot, but what defines you is your own attitude, your own behavior, your own goals, your own objectives, your own way of doing things. It doesn't have to match anyone else's way. It's your own way. But the sad thing is that most of us think that we need to change overnight to be able to achieve things. And this is where I want to give you perhaps not a different approach, just a way of doing things that changed my own life or has driven my life towards actions and not just words. It's a very simple theory, perhaps philosophy, whatever you want to call it. I call it an attitude and a way of thinking. So over time, I came to a realization that for me to do things, I don't need to change myself. I started asking myself the question, why am I even trying to change from the first place? Why am I even trying to change who I am? I don't really need to change who I am. Why don't I just start with myself, understand myself, understand who I am, understand where I want to be, and understand my goals and my objectives. And when I understand who I am, I can have a clear vision of where I want to be. And then I draw my own circle. I will not let anyone draw a circle for me. I will draw my own circle, and I will call that the comfort zone. But that is only comfort zone layer 1. Now, I don't want to step outside of who I am. I am confident with who I am. I don't need to be someone different. And I want to take it at my own pace. So think about it in a way where you're adding to your life. You're adding to your own circles. So now I add another circle. And that circle will be another layer on top of my main circle. And here I will do something extra. I will go to the gym once a week. I will eat a salad a week. I'm going to maintain my lifestyle, but I'll tweak it a little bit. And then over time, I'll add another circle. And over time, I'll add another circle and another circle. And with every single circle, I am developing, I'm changing, I'm improving. So one of the biggest examples for me is the public speaking. I was a very shy person when I was younger. I was perhaps a wallflower, you can call me. And I think over the years what happened is that although it was such a weakness, I wanted to develop it so bad. But it was such a challenge. And I knew for a fact that I couldn't dive headfirst into this. I couldn't just jump and stand up on stage and speak up. So what I did, I followed this philosophy. I didn't wake up one day and decide to change who I am. I didn't wake up one day and decide to step up on TEDx stage. I decided to start with myself. I stood in front of a mirror and told myself, this is not who I am. Me being a wallflower, me being shy is not really who I am. I'm a different person. I'm an extrovert and I want to be like it. I want to connect with people. I want to. I connected with myself. I knew what I wanted. And the next step was this. I moved up to people. My own attitude, my own confidence influenced others, and that influenced me back, and it made me more confident. So I moved up the ladder. I drew another circle. I was like, okay, you know what? Now I'll speak in front of people. I took the risk and I spoke in front of about 15 people, and that was such a challenge, and that was such an achievement for me. Went back home, celebrated, and I was like so happy. And then next step came up, and I drew another circle. And that circle was speaking at another conference, but that was in front of 100 people, and that was definitely a big step up. Then a year later, I drew another circle, and I aimed bigger. And then I spoke at TEDx stage, and that was one of the biggest challenges I've ever had. But then that's when I drew an even bigger circle. But can you imagine if I had thought or had dreamt or had told myself that I want to be on that stage from day one, I would have definitely been out and trying. I would have definitely sent about 100,000 applications to every single TEDx conference on earth. But do you really think I would have maintained my passion? Do you really think I would have actually woken up with the same aspiration and inspiration to do things? No, I wouldn't have. It's because I would have jumped headfirst. And the biggest problem with jumping headfirst is this. It overwhelms you and it makes you not want whatever it is that you've been wanting. In fact, it makes you think about your initial decision to even think about it. It makes you question, why have you even thought about that thing from the first place? Is it just a delusion? And this is exactly what was happening with me with the podcast. But I decided to take things very slowly. And only when you take it slowly and step by step, although I know some people will disagree with this, but you will maintain the passion. It's healthy for the long run, not the short run. But you know the problem with this approach? Point number one is that so many of us follow this way of thinking already. But the point is, first, we don't realize it, which is the problem itself. Two, we follow it not because we want to. So we don't eat healthy because we want to. The new generation eats healthy in most cases is because we see others eating healthy. It is this concept of comparing ourselves to others that's really lethal, that's really dangerous, because it makes you follow things that you don't even believe in. You need to step away from that. You need to make your own decision according to your own life. It is your own circles, and don't ever compare yourself to anyone else. And point number two, it's fear. A lot of people think that in the process of drawing a new circle around you, you're not going to be faced with fear. Fear is always going to be there. Fear is always going to be part of this. And in fact, that's the best thing about it. Because really, fear will be your reminder that you have to do things. So to conclude this, I want to talk just a few points to wrap it up. You need to understand, if you're to adopt this new way of thinking about the comfort zone, you're adopting a new mindset. Tell yourself that whatever it is that I want to do, I will take it step by step. If I want to read a book, go to the gym, eat healthy, whatever it is really. If I want to start a podcast, I can start it step by step. I can read, do my research. But of course, like everything else in life, it's not that simple. And since it's a mindset, then it's something you can train and you can practice. So start with the small things. The comfort zone doesn't necessarily have to be all the big things. It can be about the tiny little things. So the next morning you wake up, start by doing your bed. Start by having breakfast an hour early or changing your breakfast. Start perhaps by having a different conversation with your parents. Start sleeping earlier. Perhaps start reading a book before you sleep. Start challenging yourself in the tiny little things and drawing little tiny circles around who you are. What I want you to take from this very short podcast or very short episode is that in your life, you don't have to take things head first. And you don't have to stress out about not doing things. Because I used to do that all the time. But when you take things slowly and when you add a circle after a circle, you will change and you will live a healthy lifestyle for the long run. But most importantly, and this is the biggest lesson I want you to take from this, Don't ever try to change who you are just for the sake of doing things. Do whatever you want to do considering who you are. Let it play around you. Don't change yourself for situations. If you do that, it's going to be very lethal on you. Do things according and based on who you truly are. And only then will you be able to do things successfully and maintain it in the long run. So this is what I think about the comfort zone, and I truly believe that this could change a lot of your actions and behaviors and attitudes, especially your resolutions. Ask yourself the question, what were your resolutions? And which of them have you not done? And which of them have you started but not maintained? Go back to them and look back at yourself and start step by step. If you like this, please subscribe and do let me know what you think. I want to thank you again for listening to this. It's such a pleasure, and I look forward to speaking to you the next episode with another lesson, another topic, and another story.